And welcome back everyone to the FX Open Invitational Series. I am Unstable, joined here by Railcoon. For this next map, it is going to be Game 2 between Squirtle and Violet in the final match for Group E. Winner of this set goes on to the round of 32. Loser, of course, says goodbye to the Invitational. But Squirtle currently up 1-0 in this set. We are going to have him down here at this 9 o'clock position as our red Protoss. And then over here on the right-hand side, we're going to have our yellow Zerg. It is going to be Violet. He's gone for a pull first because of the probe down here at the natural. And it looks like we are going to have a Nexus first coming out from Squirtle. So, very standard openers that we've seen from these two so far. Railcoon, what do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same we've seen from these guys from both series that we've watched them so far. Was a little bit curious about Violet's decision to go pool first. You know, this is one of the only 4-player maps we've seen them play on so far. Could have definitely decided to try and get that hatch down. But actually, he decided to do a double extractor cancel at 20. That's a little bit unusual as well. To get 4 Zerglings out because he did not actually have any supply available to make a Zerglings to clear out this pylon. So he really does want to be able to kill this pylon, get the 3rd hatchery down like he's been doing all these other games. No, actually, Zerglings aren't going after the pylon. Oh, no, they're turning around. Maybe they are. Making up his mind, making sure the probe wasn't in the area, I guess. But just going to get the 3rd hatchery down really quick, like we've seen so many times from these two players so far. The question is, what is Squirtle going to do this time? Because he's the one who's really been varying his play so far in these matches between the two.
Yeah, well, the benefit of this map for Squirtle is it is a little bit safer to wall off here. A complete wall off with that Forge and Gateway. A lot of Protoss use this to just take a 3rd base quite quickly and just open up behind here with the back rocks. He does take double gas in his main though, and of course the triple hatchery for Violet. It's pretty much exactly the same stuff that going on, but I need you to take over for a second because I need to blow my nose because I'm having a cold right now. So sorry.
Yep. So we do see the double gas on the way, like you just mentioned. So he is going to be going for a little bit more of the tech route. We've been seeing him do that a lot these games. But there are 2 overlords actually flying around in his base right now. And actually, Violet managing to get some Zerglings onto this destructible debris out of range of the cannon. That is kind of a mistake here from Squirtle for this cannon placement. These rocks are going to take quite a bit of damage. If he shifts these Zerglings a little bit, you can probably get another Zergling in on this. But he is actually choosing to withdraw. I'm not entirely sure why. Continuing to hit these destructible debris is a very free way to apply pressure to Squirtle right now, and he just completely withdrew with no extra cannon on the way. The Zerglings aren't being put to use for anything except for trying to kill this probe, which they are not actually going to be able to do successfully. So I kind of feel like it would have been better to keep them on the debris here, drop that health lower. Then it's possible if he decided to go for some mid-game timing, he could have come in and dropped those really easily. The thought of that happening probably would have forced Squirrel to have to make some extra cannons as well. But either way, he did decide to withdraw, and his 3rd hatchery, I should say, has now finished. You do see quick tech once again from Squirtle. Welcome back.
Yep.
And it is going to be the Stargate once again.
Did you mention that Violet actually saw that Stargate? Sorry, I was...
Yeah, he had 2 overlords flying through the base.
Okay.
Pretty consistently that entire time. So he has seen the Stargate, like you just mentioned, and he's got pretty good scouting information. But why do you think he pulled away from those destructible debris? He could still be hitting them right now as well.
Well, usually it's because he just wants to get away before and then a Stalker or a Sentry comes out. And it could have been that he thought that was about to come out there, but like you were saying, there's no real reason not to at that point in time. He has got some... What is his queen count at right now? He's got 4 queens on the field, so this Void Ray at Phoenix isn't going to do that much damage to him because he's also known it's coming. Does he have an Evo Chamber? Yes, he's got an Evo Chamber finishing up now, going straight to lair as well. So Violet's going to be very prepared for this.
Yeah, he does have the 2nd Phoenix coming out as well, so he can do the double lift on any queen that's by itself. And since he does have only 4, he should be able to find one that is not supported. So we'll see how many queen kills he can get. I would say he should be able to get at least 2 if he micros this well, because that's generally tough to stop if he with the Void Ray plus the Phoenix support before you get the Spore Crawlers up, and they're not quite done yet. And they're also the one at 3rd base is a little bit slower, but it looks like he's actually focusing on trying to find the Overlords instead of going after the Queens. Going to put some damage in on this Spore Crawler, which is also going to allow him to charge up but the second queen is coming up from the natural, so it will force him away. The Phoenixes aren't here to support either. And if we look back in his base, he's finishing up a robotics facility and 3 extra gateways. So we could see which Protoss player, I think that was Crank, way back in Group A, who was doing this build, switched into the Colossus, kept a lot of his Phoenix alive, and got a really nice unit composition later on.
Well, even in game 1 of this set here, we saw those Void Rays play a pivotal role when going in against the third base. We do see that Squirtle is coming in now. There is one Spore Crawler here, and looks like he's going to go straight for the drone at the back. Oh, he's actually found a spot out of the way here, but at the same time, there we go. He is moving one Spore Crawler. Is he going to lift up that queen? And more queens coming up. It's not connected by creep here just yet. And nice control by Violet, just targeting down that Void Ray. And oh, we got another Phoenix flying right over the Spore Crawler. Not the best idea. And he's going to pick up another queen, just sitting quite nicely in between these 2 Spore Crawlers. Very nicely done by Squirtle so far. But he needs to get out of there because that Void Ray has got no health left.
Oh, he's trying to lift up this queen. He did.
Oh my god.
Once again. That is another queen. That's what, the 3rd queen down, and now the Spore Crawler is going to be forced to move once again. Of course, cannot lift off the Spore Crawler. If it could, that would be quite ridiculous. But instead, he is actually still going to be able to take out this Extractor. He's forcing Violet to have to move these Spore Crawlers repeatedly. This Spore Crawler might actually go down, but he's not going to risk it because he doesn't know if there's another queen about to come in. Wants to try and keep that Void Ray alive, and he has forced a lot of extra Spore Crawlers to be made. 2 more on the way, a few more built at the 2nd and 3rd. So this has done a pretty good amount of damage. Killed a few drones, 3 queens, forced extra Spore Crawlers.
Oh, another queen.
The center is going to die as well. So that's the 4th queen down. This is doing actually a lot more damage than anticipated. And now the Colossus are on the way. So as long as he doesn't lose any of these Phoenix, this Colossus is going to be quite strong when it finishes, because Violet is actually going for the Spire answer to this.
Yeah, well, actually, there's quite a few Overlords here that he might put. Oh, one Phoenix does get picked off by that Spore Crawler. And looking here, Squirtle does not know about this 4th base just yet, but he is getting his 3rd of his own. We've got Colossus tech already on the way. We've got +1 already researched, +1 armor for him as well. And Violet's having a really hard time dealing with this air harass, and he really wants to put pressure on that 3rd base, but he just can't at the moment. Look at this. Yep, he does see the 4th. 16 mutas in production right now for Violet, and that's going to be very frustrating. He's going to get that Void Ray regardless, but it looks like...
Fleet Beacon on the way. It looks like Squirtle might actually be going for that range upgrade for the Phoenixes. He is actually still producing a few more. And with that range upgrade, that old-style Phoenix Colossus build composition is a little bit more potent against anything that the Zerg player would throw out there in the air to deal with it. He is actually committing to these Mutalisks. So if he does actually go for that Phoenix upgrade, this will be really nice for Squirtle. It's not super expensive, and it does upgrade rather quickly. Yeah, there it goes. It's only 90 seconds, and with it being chrono boosted, that will be out pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, we do have these Phoenixes in the main base here at the moment for Squirtle. He's noticed the mutas just picking off pylons on the outside, +1 attack for the air weapons as well on the way from the cybernetics core. But Violet now does have 4 bases, and that's going to give him a good grounding to go into that extra tech. The Infestation Pit is finishing up, but it's going to come down to how well these Muta versus Phoenixes play out.
Yeah, I like the fact that Violet is investing a lot into Zerglings right now, because one of the reasons why the Colossus Phoenix unit composition kind of fell out of style is it has to stay the death ball. It's impossible to split apart and use effectively. So it has some mobility issues. So with the mutas out on the field and going for a lot of Zerglings to back that up, he can split up his forces, try and keep Squirtle bouncing around to defend, and just try to outmaneuver him. He's getting the +1 melee upgrades for his Zerglings as well. So that's definitely going to help him in that endeavor, and we'll see how well he's able to pull that off. If he does a good job of maneuvering these Zerglings, he might be able to delay this attack by Squirtle for quite some time.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the same time, we do see Violet going for a 5th base as well. And the Zerglings trying to do a run-by, but there's enough cannons down here to defend any kind of run-by that Violet could possibly do.
That is a lot of Phoenixes. Look at this at the 4th base, just lifting up massive amounts of units. And the other issue is, with his unit composition, Squirtle doesn't have to worry quite as much about wasting lifts, but now the Phoenixes are out of position, so the mutas are free to do whatever they want. Where are the mutas, by the way?
They're sitting in between the in the choke point between the third and the natural. But either way, more drones going down here. A total of 28 drones, 29 drones killed here. He does see the 5th base as well. Both these guys are getting pretty close to maxing out here in a minute. Oh, here we go. Here come the Infestors. Oh, everything just got fungled here.
Oh my god. If he can chain fungal. Oh, lifts up the Infestor, gets a little bit too close with the energy. Mutalisk flying in onto those fungal. Phoenix is going to wipe them all out. Oh, that is really painful, especially since he had the range upgrade. That was just him getting caught off guard. There's no reason for him to be in range for that. Just probably wasn't paying close enough attention. Got caught by surprise, and now all the Phoenixes are down. He invested quite a bit of money into those Phoenixes, and now these 2 Colossus are not nearly as well supported as they were previously. These Stalkers, do have the 1-1 upgrade, soon to be the 1-2, but if the large number of mutas can come in from a good angle, they should be able to blast those Colossus very quickly, and then the Zerglings will be able to overwhelm the Stalkers.
But he's actually going for a counter-attack here by the looks of it from Violet. Right as Squirtle moves into the main, we might actually have a base race scenario here after this one, because he is going for that natural. The mutas support will help the Zerglings just absolutely tear things apart. We are looking at 1-1 upgrades compared to a 1-2 here, remember, Railgun. He's actually splitting up his forces quite nicely here, Squirtle is. Picking off everything all at different times, but at the same time he's losing his main base. There's a lot of cannons down here at the 3rd base with the extra units, and I think that's where Squirtle is trying to like regroup his army.
Yeah, I definitely think that Violet could have taken on this army if he had managed to catch the Colossus out of position or just come in from a good angle.
Well, he's actually going to lose one of these Colossi because this Spore Crawler.
Oh, 2 Spore Crawlers actually at the same time. We'll be able to save them, but now they're really low health. And you see Violet now swinging down onto that 3rd base, trying to wipe out the economy of all the bases first. Quite a smart decision, but there are hatcheries everywhere for Violet as well. He has a lot of resources stockpiled. I don't see any probes that managed to escape either. Oh, there's 1 probe up just below the 12 o'clock location, and that is the only probe that's gotten out for Squirtle. So this is going to be very difficult for him. Units for Violet are just all over the place, and now he has some low health Colossus.
Well, he still has probes in the main.
Actually, the entire rest of the army is gone except for these sentries. This is really dangerous. They're not going to get caught, but that's really, really scary in a base race situation to have those Colossus walking off by themselves like that.
Yeah, well, looking at the situation here, Violet does have those extra hatcheries, but looking at his army supply, it's 114 for Squirtle, there's 67 of Violet, and it's pretty much all his mutas. There is Blink for Squirtle, remember, but he hasn't been able to make anything outside of that main base. Let's have a quick look at there's 3 probes in total. Where are they hiding? There's 2 of them down here at the 3rd.
Yeah. I don't know where the other one went. There was one that escaped.
Ah, there it is. It's making a nexus. And a lot of pylons.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
And we see the mutas are actually still clearing out the buildings here of Squirtle. And Squirtle's trying to trap it with the large number of Blink Stalkers over here. And we'll see if he can actually blink some of the Stalkers over here to try and control the muta movement. But he's actually trying to defend this base lead building at the same time. Worker count is 1-to-1 at the moment. 1 probe, 1 drone. Where is the lonely drone? It's not actually mining at the moment. So that is somewhat important, and both players are just going to have to try and defend their new bases. There is no forge, I don't think, so he can't make cannons, and he's going to have to keep his army over here to try and defend this. There are some extractors that have survived for Violet on top of this as well, so the buildings for Violet are much more spread out. He's got a lot of them. And Squirtle's got an army that's been tough to split apart, so this is looking pretty good, but the muta's flying into a large group of Stalkers. He blinks this quite well. He should actually do a lot of damage with these 1-2 Stalkers. More Stalkers coming in to support this. He cannot be losing Mulisks right now unstable. He loses quite a few before he actually
decides
to
again.
retreat.
Yeah, losing so many mutas right now. He does manage to get away. However, looking at the army size, there's 21 mutas now to 31 Stalkers. Army size is 86 to 55. However, Squirtle, he has 1 probe mining, whereas we only just now see a spawning pool. Oh, we got 3 drones mining down here for Violet.
There's 3 at both bases. He has 6 drones mining. Spawning pool has started. And losing those mutas is really important because before those mutas went down, Squirtle was a little bit tentative about leaving his base because there were so many mutas, he didn't want to get backdoored. But now that a lot of the mutas are down, he has full control of the center of the map. He's going to be able to apply pressure to Violet because he knows that that muta force is quite weak right now.
Well, he might actually catch him here. He's going to try and get these Stalkers. They're going to blink forward into the rest of the army, picking off a couple of Zerglings. It's still a tense situation here at the moment because the muta count is high enough. If he catches half of Squirtle's army out of position, he can clean that up and then even things out. But he is going to lose this extra hatchery. He's still got one more down here at the 6 o'clock position.
The armor upgrade on the Stalkers is...
Oh, he's picking up the sentries with the mutas, though. 2 of those sentries do go down. He's going to lose a few mutas in return, though. And he now does see this extra base. There's still only one probe. That is actually going to die to these Zerglings.
Coming out. Yeah, going to catch that probe. But the issue is the armor upgrade on these Stalkers is really good against the Mutalisks. He also has the +2 weapons upgrade. Oh, but look at this. Violet coming in, throwing down a lot of infested Terrans, trying to blast down the rest of the buildings of Squirtle. He's going all in on the last few buildings, but there are a lot of pylons. I don't think he's going to get them in time. Yes, a lot of pylons do survive, and the mutas do get chased out. All the infestors are dead, and now there's only a few Mutalisks. I like the idea, but the army just was not far enough away for it to work.
Yeah, we now see more mutas going down to these Stalkers. And Squirtle really only has these pylons here, though, Railcoon. But at the same time, Squirtle does not know about this base down at the bottom position. Oh, he's losing all the rest of the mutas. I think this is going to be lights out here for Violet. He's got 3 Zerglings and 1 muta. Not looking good. 76 army supply to 5. And now it's just up to Squirtle going around and picking off the rest of these things here.
Yeah, the problem is he lost so many Mutalisks that now that he can just leave a few Stalkers defending his pylons while the rest of his army splits up and kills all the buildings. And it really comes down to, I think if Violet had protected that huge Mutalisk count much earlier, Squirtle would have been much more tentative, and Violet might have actually been able to get his economy going. It would have been really difficult for Squirtle, but losing those first few mutas really gave Squirtle a lot more control. And then he just played really well after that. The two of them are talking. This is probably a prelude to a GG. And I'm thinking we're going to see the tap out here in a second. But Violet seems to really want to try and fight this. I don't know if he knows that... Oh, Squirtle hasn't actually scouted his base yet.
No, he hasn't. That's what he's trying to bank on. It's like taking a little bit of time. However, he's killed everything else on the map. He's killing all the overlords up here as well.
2 Colossus surviving is a really important point as well, because really the only thing he can make right now
is
he's
seen the Queens now, though, and that's going to be the tell that he's just going to need. But he's actually picking off quite a few units over here with his Zerglings. But it's not going to be enough.
There are 2 Colossus running up towards the pylons to save them, and a few Stalkers coming back to deal with this single Mutalisk. So he should be able to defend this while he pushes in on the last bastion of strength for Violet. The Zergling's going down. Mutalisk is already dead. And now he's going to take out all these drones in the hatchery. That's going to be it.
Yeah, alrighty. There's one last stand from Violet. There's the GG. Congratulations to Squirtle. He will advance into the round of 32. We say goodbye to Violet, but definitely some strong games from him. We'll look forward to seeing him in the next Invitational Series, of course. But we will be right back with our next group in just 2 minutes. Stay with us.